first playoff victory as a Laker. 31 points, 12 boards, 9
Luka,
assists.
A lot of you guys told us like what you needed to do after game one, and it seems like you did that with the physicality and the effort on defense. Is there anything execution-wise that stood out to you on that end?
Are you talking about defense or offense?
Yeah, defense.
No, we did the same game plan. We didn't really change much. It was just the question of if we're going to be more physical or not, and I think we showed that. And we were there for 48 minutes, and we got big enough first quarter. I learned from the last game, and we just stick to it.
You of course have experience with Minnesota from last year. You know what it's like as they go throughout a series. Playing in that building? How do you feel like that energy is going to be as you go there 1-to-1?
Oh, it's going to be high. I remember that. They have amazing fans, and they're very loud. So from the first moment, they're going to make it, at some point they're going to make a run, but we got to stay together. It's us against the whole arena, so it's going to be very tough. I experienced that, and it wasn't easy, so we got to stay together no matter what.
Luka, they cut it to 11 in the third. You guys were able to push it right back. I think a 10-2 run. Then they got it to 9 in the fourth. Again, able to hold them off. What were those moments like for your group? How do you feel like you leaned on one another to make sure that it didn't get any closer?
Yeah, I mean, they have a great team, so at some point they're going to make a run. Just no matter how we respond, and we responded by being who we are. And I think, like I said, I think we responded very well. And from on, I mean, to win a game, scoring 13 points in the fourth quarter, it's not easy. It was from defense and then going on from there.
It seemed like the team as a whole did better with getting deeper into the paint, and that kind of helped get Minnesota into rotation. The kickouts were there. You kind of led the charge in that. Was that a talking point over the last couple of days, and how much was that emphasized coming into tonight?
I think when we touch the paint, a lot of great things happen. Gets them in the blender, and we just gotta do that more. Obviously we talk about it. Gotta touch the paint no matter what. So that's what we're trying to do more, and I think we can still do a lot more than that.
Hey, Luka. You obviously played a lot of playoff games before you even got to the NBA, but now that you've had enough NBA playoff games under your belt, what have you sort of learned about when to stay calm and still versus when to really panic, or not you ever panic, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, obviously not panic, but as me and Braun, leaders of the team, we got to keep the team together. Like I said, going into to Minnesota is going to be a war. The fans are going to be cheering like crazy. So no matter what, we can't panic. We got to stay together, and that's on me and Braun to keep the team together.
Luka, you guys only had 15 assists as a team in game one, 23 tonight. You, LeBron, and AR each had 5 or more. What did you see in terms of just the ball movement, the playmaking, and just the way that you guys were organized offensively? JJ had mentioned that as a big thing.
Yeah, I think like when he asked me about the paint, when we touch the paint, it's a lot of openings, and like I said, we got to do that more. And I think we shared the ball great today, and we got to keep doing that.
Luka, vimos esa energía, qué tan físicos fueron en el primer cuarto, incluso la energía de la gente, tu celebración. ¿Qué mensaje se mandó desde el inicio imponiendo ese ritmo de lo que es esta serie?
Sí, hemos empezado bien los dos partidos. En el primero no continuamos bien, pero creo que hoy hacemos un buen esfuerzo para estar en el partido. Hemos jugado muy duro, 48 minutos, y eso tenemos que seguir haciendo. Y bueno, la gente estuvo en el partido y eso lo agradezco mucho.
Luka, buenas noches. Primero que nada, felicitarte por la victoria. Ahora es ganar el próximo jueves por allá en Minnesota, arrebatarles ese juego que les arrebataron aquí en Los Ángeles, ¿verdad? Sí, queremos jugar, ganar todos los partidos que podamos. Como hemos hablado, va a ser muy duro ahí. He jugado ahí, sé cómo es, y va a ser muy duro. Tenemos que estar juntos todos los 48 minutos.
Luka, tu experiencia en playoffs contra el equipo de Minnesota después de todos los juegos.
Fair to say we won the game with our defense tonight, but our offense had a lot to do with that. Not allowing them to get out in transition, and when they did, as AR did late in the game, taking the charge, we were able to stop them from scoring or in some cases stopped them from even getting a quick shot up, and then they had to run half-court offense. So I just think as much as it was the defense tonight, our offense actually helped quite a bit with some of the transition stuff.
JJ, Rui got, to your right, Rui got banged up, has to put a mask on. At one point, he throws the mask off, keeps competing, gets fit for another mask, and he's battling on the block. He's going into the lane on offense. He's trying to get offensive rebounds. Just how do you think his effort typified the shift you guys wanted to see in physicality tonight?
Yeah, he played like a warrior tonight. I'm sure that he's probably in the X-ray room right now. But he did a lot of really good things. I think when we watched the tape, there was a few plays that he made, just getting deflections and disrupting plays, leading to late shot clock possessions for them. Some plays at the rim, that don't show up in the box score, but he was awesome tonight.
JJ, minus some, I guess, anomaly minutes through 6 games against them this season, it's looked a lot like that in terms of low scoring and kind of a rock fight. Is it fair? Have you seen enough in the series to kind of anticipate it's going to look to some degree like this moving forwards?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you can sort of anticipate that, but we weren't ready for a rock fight to start game 1, so I've seen enough of these and been in enough of these that you can have these low-scoring games and sort of low offensive output games that are really physical, and all of a sudden somebody starts making threes. There's a few turnovers that leads to a high transition half, and somebody scores 120. That's just kind of how basketball works. Every game is a little different, but I think the mentality for both teams is to have a rock fight.
JJ, the timeout you were discussing a few minutes ago got a lot of play online because the TV captured some very colorful language, and obviously the guys can handle a few curse words, but yeah. I'm just curious, when you do call a timeout, you do see that tide starting to turn, you want to make an impact to have the kind of run you guys had afterward. How do you sense when to really lay into them, and how do you sense when to not, so that you're not just always barking?
Yeah, I mean, I've done that in a game a handful of times in 6 preseason games, 82 regular season. It was at 90 games. I've done it a handful of times. It's not something that I want to do. It's something I'm more than comfortable doing. But I think tonight it was just more about getting that urgency button switched back on.
JJ, they were up by 9, fourth quarter. All of a sudden, LeBron makes a steal at a point. Describe what that was like from a coaching standpoint.
Yeah, again, I can't remember what exactly happened on that possession, but it felt like they potentially had a transition opportunity, a numbers advantage, just a huge play. And, they go down and score. All of a sudden, there's some momentum, 6-7 points, and LeBron just made a massive play. And it's not just him. I think our guys really just were all in tonight with their effort, and they battled, and you got to be proud of the